goes in the oven. It's a very simple thing. Okay, let's put this aside for a minute. Now, one of my subscribers asked me to make something using Spumoni ice cream. Alright, for those of you who don't know, Spumoni is an Italian ice cream. It's 3 different flavors. Now the problem is, I couldn't find Spumoni ice cream. So I just have, whatchamacallit? I have just regular vanilla ice cream. And what I'm going to make is a baked Alaska. Alright. Now look, this cake I made yesterday. And all you do is you flip it over and just let it sit on the counter. You don't have to refrigerate it. You can just let it sit on the counter. Okay? Alright. Now this is not hard to do, this pattern. What you have to do is you put in your white cake first. Oh, by the way, this was out of a box. they were BOGO, buy one get one. So I figured, hey, what the heck? And I bought I bought a vanilla and a chocolate. All right, so put the vanilla cake in, and then just, I use my fingers. Stick your fingers in the chocolate and just do this, you know, and you'll be good to go. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. First of all, we need a whatchamacallit. We need a base. Now, it depends. You know, it all depends on you how big your baked Alaska is gonna be. Know what I mean? I mean, I've seen them where they're huge. Okay, there's your base. Now, if it's too thick, you know, if it's too high, you have to cut it. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to make 2 sides for it. Okay, so what we need is another piece. But this piece, I think I'm going to cut. Oh, by the way, this is a little piece of cardboard that I decided to use for the cake. You know what I mean? I covered it with parchment paper. You got to get some parchment paper. It's very important to have around the house, is parchment. Okay, now for the sides, this is too thick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it in half. This takes a little practice to do this. It's not the easiest thing. But I'm sure there's other ways you can do it that would make it easier. Alright. So here we go. You start on one end. You just come down. Start on one end. And just keep your knife level. Keep your knife level. Alright. And just keep going on that line that you've already on that cut that you've already made. There you go. You might have to, there you go. I was going to say you might have to go around 3-4 times, but that just came off pretty easy. Alright, so these are the sides to the baked Alaska. Okay. Now we probably are going to need two triangles for the ends. So let me see, this looks like it would be about right. Yeah, we can cut that down, it's not a big deal. Alright, now let me cut that in half. This triangle isn't the right size, but I will cut it down once I find out what size I need, because I don't know yet. Okay, so that's that. Now I'm just going to put this on the side, and I'm going to put it on the side, and I'm going to mix up the meringue. We need meringue for this. Alright. For the meringue, we need the whip. I lost my whip. Remember that guy, Rogelio? I asked him if I could use his whip. His name was Rogelio, which is Roy. I said, Roy, can I use your whip? I lost my whip. Somebody stole his whip. I lost my whip. But you know what's funny is, it probably wasn't his whip to begin with. He probably stole it from somebody else. Alright, so the best is room temperature eggs. Now listen, I gotta tell you, this is very, very important. You can't have any grease on the bowl or on the paddle, you know, on the whip. You can't have any grease. And if you break an egg yolk inside, you have to try to get every bit of the egg yolk out. The egg yolks have grease in them, so you got to try to get them out. Okay, that's the secret to cooking egg. I mean, to whipping egg whites. Number one, no grease. Number two, the yolk is grease. So if you get yolk in there, get it out. All right. So that's that is three. What was that? 3 or 4? 4 egg yolk. 4 eggs. Okay. Now hold on a minute. Let me see. Okay, now I'm letting these egg whites warm up. I'm letting them get to room temperature. So I'll put the top on this thing. I mean, I'll put the ice cream in. All right, here we go. This is just regular store-bought. This is actually frozen yogurt with no sugar. Tastes pretty good though. Okay, take it out of the box or the package. Alright. Now this is going to be made with Spumoni ice cream. Okay, put one piece right here. Put another piece right here. We're going to fill up these little spaces here. Baked Alaska is going to come in on an angle like this. It's going to have a peak. Okay. You have to make room in your freezer before you do this. You know what I mean? This is pretty big. You're going to have to make a lot of room in your freezer. All right. With your hands, smash it all together. Okay. Let me see, where's my knife? There it is. Alright, now we're going to need a little small ones for the ends. Now when you go to cut this, remember that the end has more cake on it. So you might want to give the person on the end a little thicker cut because it has more cake. You know, you might not have enough ice cream on that end cut. Oh man, this stuff's gonna be killer. Whoo! Alright. So there it is, sealed up. Okay, back in the freezer it goes. Like I said, make sure you have room in your freezer before you start this. Because if you try to start making room now, it might not be a good thing. That's it. Okay, now alright, listen, you don't need a turntable for this, but it really does help. If you have a Lazy Susan or something like that that's just laying around, use it. Because, like I said, it really does help if you have something that can turn. Alright, now here we go, let's get it on. Take your thingy out of the freezer. Put some meringue on it. Alright, now all you want to do now is just coat it. Nothing fancy here. Just coat very lightly. Like I said, there's nothing fancy going on. This is just, you know, you could do this without a turntable. But, in my opinion, it really does help if you have one. But then again, I'm spoiled, you know. I gotta have one. I probably couldn't do this without one. Yeah, I suppose I could. Alright, what you want to do is cover all the cake. Traditionally, Baked Alaska is made with vanilla ice cream. And it doesn't have any chocolate in the cake. It's all white. The whole thing is white. You know, if you're gonna go by tradition, that's what it is. This was something they made up in the 50s, I believe. It's pretty much gone now. I mean, you really don't see it in a restaurant. That's because, you know, today the cooks are just, excuse me, but most of them are just idiots. They don't know what the hell they're doing. And, you know, that's not a problem, not knowing what to do. That's not a problem. What the problem is, that they don't want to learn what to do, you know. Okay, so there we go. Alright, now I'm going to take the comb and I'm going to comb it. There we go. Alright, just going to put a simple lines combed. Okay, now here's the nice stuff. Now we're going to put two thingies on top. Oh, I've got I've got some red food coloring in there. Then I'm going to go along the bottom just to cover up, you know, any cake that's showing. Okay, then I'm going to do this. 1, 2. Alright. 1, 2. Okay, now, hold on. I got to get the torch. You can do this without the torch. If you put it into a very hot oven. The problem with that is you have a chance of melting some ice cream. Now you gotta have the burn on your meringue because it gives the meringue a whole different flavor. It's really important. It gives it a toasted marshmallow flavor. You know, when you were a kid and you put marshmallows on the campfire? That's what it does. That's why I had to put a little bit of sugar into the meringue. I didn't want to use any sugar, but I had to put a little bit in just so that it would brown like this. Okay, there we go. Look at that. To have some black spots, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, just think of your marshmallows when you were little. Okay, now, here is the best part about it. Now look, you got to be very careful doing this. Please, be very, very careful. Alright, take two of those eggshells that you cracked for the egg whites. Here you go. Clean up the edge, make them a little bit small because you don't want to shake this too much. I'll show you what I'm talking about here in a minute. Okay, so you put one eggshell here and you put one eggshell over here. Okay? Alright, now, here comes the good stuff. Now what you do is 151 rum. Alright? You got 151 rum. in both eggshells. Now please be careful if you do this. I cannot warn you enough. Be careful. As a matter of fact, Bacardi stopped making 151 rum because of the danger in the restaurants of people starting on fire when they would cook tableside. You know? Woo! Okay, there we go. Should have done that in the beginning. Alright. Now, let's light them up. Okay. Okay, here we got it. Now we're going to light them. Whew, okay, they're burning. Now check this out. I'm going to shut the light off. Now look, here's what you do back in the kitchen. You light these on fire. Okay, you can't even tell, but they're burning. And then on your way out to the table, here's what you do. You take the Baked Alaska and you shake it. Okay, you see? You shake it like that. Woo-hoo! Now the more it burns, the more alcohol is being burned away, so you don't have any alcohol left here. Alright? Now by the time you put it down on the table, the flame should be out. You know, the flame doesn't last, you know, but a second. Alright, so that's it. That's Baked Alaska. Now, for the person who wanted this Spumoni video, this is it right here. Very simple. All you need is a couple of cake mixes. Actually, you could use just yellow cake. One cake mix, that's all you need. And there you go.